Get fast, reliable internet for any budget. Now, qualifying customers can get Xfinity Internet free through the Affordable Connectivity Program. That's right, free high-speed internet from Xfinity. And Internet Essentials customers can get equipment included at no extra cost. Get started today.
We change our minds every day. About 1 million things a day. This is no different. You can't be afraid to be wrong. You can't be afraid to say, you know what, I'm just going to rethink this thing. People are not dying getting the vaccine. I better rethink this thing. I'm going to go call my doctor and have a discussion one more time. It is okay to change your mind.
Want your boss to put some real action behind the rhetoric when they talk about making your workplace more inclusive? Find out how to hold their feet to the fire and demand diversity on the Diversity Dude podcast.
Hello there, and welcome to the Diversity Dude podcast. I'm your host, Lambert Fisher, marriage and family therapist and award-winning author and national speaker on the topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. And before I get started on today's topic, I want to express my gratitude again to the Independent Book Publishers Association for making my new book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, an award-winning book, which helps highlight the fact that it's not just a book for mental health professionals like myself, it's for helping professionals all over. And I'm grateful for the response that it's been given. It's been shown to be applicable for teachers, for helping professionals in nonprofit organizations, for medical professionals, for clergy, whatever the case may be, anyone trying to increase their scope, increase their reach, and serve the greatest variety of individuals in the community possible. So if you're interested, go feel free to check it out. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in today to gain a few insights because as is consistent with my trainings or my books, my goal is to take those relationship principles that I use in my therapy on a regular basis and bring that in an informing and empowering way to continue that mission of improving the world one strengthened relationship at a time. So today, I want to talk to you about accepting differing cultural priorities. So a common question that I received during my live Diversity Made Simple trainings is this. Lambers, someone might say, is it bad that I just don't care about all this multicultural awareness and diversity stuff? I mean, it's not like wokeness, they'll say, is the only thing that's important to me. Matter of fact, it's not that important to me at all, but it seems like the only thing everybody's talking about. And if you're not talking about that all the time, then it's considered by many to be a sign of my hatred and disrespect for other people and their cultures. I mean, it's just not the most important thing in my life right now. Not that I hate other people or their problems. I just don't care. Is that bad? Now, before I get started on that, let me address this wokeness. Let me demystify wokeness for a second, since the phrase has often been used to express a variety of different things. At its most basic level, woke simply means to be aware or alert of injustice in society, especially as it relates to racism. Uh, the contrast to wokeness in the awareness sense of the term is not merely racism or hatred, but the lack of awareness or ignorance. And as I discussed in a recent podcast, while ignorance is merely the lack of knowledge and certainly is inconvenient and would definitely be hopefully a temporary state while we seek new knowledge, the more we increase our awareness of injustices, namely people being treated in ways that are not just, the more awakened or woke we are to those needs. So, whether or not you use the term, the goal is simply to increase our awareness, which can be the start of action in some way to help improve the lives of those around you. So, why is this relevant? Well, because people are less likely to take steps to help reduce experiences of injustice if they're not even aware of the injustice or the need for change. It is then, after you're aware of the need, that you can then decide whether or not you want to be a part of the solution. So, where this gets tricky is here. If you find out that you don't care about something that someone else naturally cares about, then before instantly judging yourself privately or defending yourself publicly, it will be beneficial to ask yourself the question, why don't I care? If we don't already care because we're not already aware or ignorant of past mistreatment of others, how it impacted them, and their concerns for repeated future experiences, then hear this. I don't believe that you should waste time judging yourself for not automatically having that as a priority. If you don't share their past experiences and thus don't share the same fears of repeated future experiences, then why would that be your top priority? We all naturally care about things that impact us directly. And when we become more aware of things that impact other people, we can then choose, not naturally, but choose to care more and more over time as we learn more. Now, if you become aware of social injustices, how some people are treated differently than others, and see how the unfair treatment impacts their lives and the lives of those around them, and you still don't care, then that may be worth exploring. Again, you don't automatically need to care or even care in the same way or as much as someone who's actually experiencing the injustice or who feels more closely impacted than you. Instead, here's something you can't focus on. Don't judge yourself for not naturally caring about others. Instead, learn to care that others care. Care that others are impacted. Care because you care about them. It's a subtle difference, but it has the potential to make all the difference. Realizing that you have the luxury, dare I say, the privilege of not having to worry about something where someone else is impacted, whether or not they choose to worry about it or not, is important. So instead of wasting time trying to naturally care when something doesn't impact you in the same way, care because it impacts people you care about. Not because you know them personally, but because no one should be treated unfairly. Because you want everyone to feel a sense of safety and trust in this world. You don't have to have all of the solutions regarding how to achieve it, but you can care. Now, it's also worth sharing here the perspective regarding the reactions and responses some tend to receive when their lack of natural care becomes evident. Because some people reasonably continue to have difficulty understanding why their lack of care is viewed so negatively. So negatively, in fact, that it's often kept a secret out of self protection. Well, this falls into the category of neutrality, not getting the benefit of the doubt. Many people hear familiar phrases like either you're for me or against me, and in response, lobby for a middle option of neither, hoping to just not cause any trouble for themselves or anyone else. However, to those experiencing emotional or physical hurt and harm and are calling out for help, the response of neutrality has the potential to feel similarly disappointing and potentially result in feelings of hurt and anger. At that point, just not caring as much is experienced as not valuing the well being of someone else enough to care enough to help. It may not be how you feel, but it looks so similar that this may be how you're experienced. And if it is clear that you are not their enemy, your lack of care enough to help makes you effectively useless. Not useless as a person, just useless to them in their efforts to seek safety, fairness, and equal treatment in which you are choosing not to help. Now, at that comes a common question. Well, what am I supposed to do? I'm not a social justice activist. I don't have all the right things to say or do to change the world. What am I supposed to do? Well, that very well may be the case. But you'll find that most people don't expect or even need you to automatically have all of society's answers and solutions or growth needs. Though you don't need to know or do everything, it can make a big difference to show that you care enough to at least acknowledge the legitimacy of someone else's pain or discomfort, their hurts, their fears, and frustration. In addition, making any effort to identify the things that you can do goes a long way. Maybe you can join others' efforts to do something collectively that you may not be able to accomplish individually on your own. Maybe all you can do is to share your perspective on someone else's experience in a group of people who similarly didn't understand before and similarly didn't care as much. But that might actually make a difference in how they're inclined to act in response. Whatever it is, say or do what you can. Make it clear that while you may not naturally care in the same way and for the same reasons, you care because you care about how others are impacted and their well being matters to you. And if you see others not caring, are inclined to feel offended or angry, and you're experiencing that and you're experiencing the need, then I encourage you to not assume callous disregard and disrespect. Test your theory first. If it is callous disregard and disrespect, then healthily protect yourself as needed. But instead of assuming that someone else doesn't care when you're hurt or in need of help, or demanding help by asserting that if you cared, you would have already done so. Instead, inform them of your need and that of those around you. Ask for help if appropriate, and outwardly express care. Not because they need that help, but because the need exists and they have an opportunity to help now, regardless of their lack of past help or even their past knowledge, in hopes of a shared beneficial future for all. This isn't a ask for help out of helplessness consideration. Instead, it's an acknowledgement that the more we acknowledge things, the more can be accomplished when we all work together to reach a goal that may benefit some, but ultimately really benefits us all. Will this be easy? No. But it can reduce the amount of cultural and relational misunderstandings and increase the amount of people who are actually increasing their own awareness of varying cross-cultural needs and working together to increase others' awareness and meeting a greater variety of needs, whether or not they share the needs of others. My hope for you is that you will not only increase your awareness of the needs around you, but also care enough to help, even if it's only because you care that they care, and find ways to do that in whatever ways you can, even if it doesn't look like someone else's help and care. I believe that the more people have this mindset, the more cross-cultural caring and collaboration can occur in homes, workplaces, and in the community at large. With that, I'll say thanks again for listening in to today's Diversity Dude podcast. If you have any pressing diversity-related questions that you'd like me to address in an upcoming podcast, or if your organization is in need of a shame-free and empowering guest speaker or training on this topic or this sensitive topic, feel free to reach out to me directly at www.lambersfisher.com. Also, check out my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, available on my website or at amazon.com. It can help you individually or your organization as you see fit. I look forward to addressing as many topics as possible in future podcasts to help you improve your relationships at home and in the workplace. And as always, remember this: you don't need to know everything about everyone in order to have a positive impact on someone. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day.
Tune in each week and find out how to demand and implement diversity at your job. To hear more, check out previous Diversity Dude shows on ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
At Hy-Vee, we take pride of being part of the communities we serve. In 2021, we donated more than 14 million meals, and this year, we're committed to doing even more. For over 90 years, we've been the place that people turn in time of need, and we take that very seriously. That's why we're loading our semis full of food this week and making deliveries across the Midwest to help families this Easter. To join our effort, simply donate when you're at the checkout. Together, we can make a big difference for those in need.
Children's Minnesota, the leader in specialized healthcare for kids, is here to raise awareness, standards, the bar, the stakes, the question, the curtain. On raising kids' health to the highest priority, kids need equal access to healthcare, more pediatric expertise, a voice for change. Kids need us, all of us. So let's raise them up. Children's Minnesota, the kid experts.
For millions of Americans, the pandemic impacted our financial situations, and a lot of people lost their jobs. But that should not mean you have to lose your house if you can't pay for your mortgage. Listen, no need to feel ashamed if you missed a payment or two or three, because there's a local organization that's willing to help you get caught up on those payments so you can keep your home. Let me tell you about the Minnesota Home Ownership Center. It's a nonprofit whose sole purpose is to prevent you from going into foreclosure. The Minnesota Home Ownership Center has a network of organizations around the state to review everything with you, explain your options, and then advocate for you to get the help you need. And get this, they won't charge you because it's all free. Check out hocmn.org or give them a call at 651-410-1086 to set up an appointment. You worked hard to get into that house. Let Minnesota Home Ownership Center help you stay in it.
All right, did you know I was the Mommy Slam Dunk Champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, up, up.
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.